Nick Fuentes speaks with Alex Jones, and they talk on whether Muslims are the problem in the U.S. I honestly think it's not the problem. I'm a Christian dude and shit like that, but honestly, bro, the only place the fucking Muslim shit is growing at the fastest is the prisons, the jails. Facts.
York, and there's
for y'all real quick.
Well, in terms of the Muslims, I continue to believe this is really not a major problem for the United States. Just in terms of pure numbers, Muslims are about 1% of the United States and concentrated in a few enclaves like in Minneapolis and in Dearborn. And of course, there's
I would say it's probably more than 1%. I would say a good 10%, if not 20.
A lot of them in New York, and there's even some in Chicago and Texas. There's a big story about that Grand Mosque they're trying to build. And of course, I don't like that. But even in the context of the demographic problem, the biggest immigrant groups into the United States in the past 30 years, it's Mexicans, Indians, Chinese, Northern Triangle, Filipino, like those are the major groups. And so if you're talking about America changing demographically or culturally, it's a Latin American and an Asian problem. It's a Chinese and an Indian problem. In Europe, that is where they have a Muslim problem. That is where they have Pakistanis and Middle Easterners and Africans pouring in by the millions. And they represent most of the non-white population in those places. And so there, I think that's totally.
Just to add on to what Nick is saying, I used to do Amazon delivery. All the nice neighborhoods, the good neighborhoods, it's all Chinese and Indians. You barely even see whites anymore in there. And I'd be like, damn, they really are taking over. I'm seeing blacks. Shout out to the blacks. I want them to be in the nice communities. We going to exclude the blacks because most blacks are from they were here or brought here, whatever you guys believe. I see mostly Asians and Indians, bro. No disrespect to them. If you work hard enough, you gonna be there too, bro. That's how I see it. Just because it's more of them, I really feel like if your ass get up and work hard, you gonna be there too. It's just like, but it's hard to get there when everybody else is taking a place. You can work as hard, but sometimes it's like they're taking up your jobs. They're taking
really true, and it's a real problem. Over here in the United States, I think that is basically a deflection. I think that any time that somebody talks about our Jewish elite, because we do have Jewish oligarchs like Larry Ellison and Mary Matelson and others, every time somebody talks about that, we get someone like Laura Loomer screaming about the Muslim Brotherhood and Mark Levin screaming about Qatar and talking about the Muslim call to prayer. And I'm with you in the sense that, of course, I don't want a Muslim invasion of the United States. It's also something that's not really happening in large numbers. And I also think that is something that is sort of trotted out. It's sort of like, look over here. It's a big diversion. And so.
And that's a fact, bro. It's more of other people pouring in. It's more on the Indian side and the Chinese side, like I said, bro. And Muslims are people that were already here fucking committing to be Muslims out there to get in trouble. And most people are doing that shit for clout, bro. I swear to God, most of them were not even raised Muslim. They were raised Christians.
You know, in New York, it makes sense because you've got Zohran Mamdani becoming the mayor. But let's be honest. I mean, a lot of the people that supported him, I think it was like 60% of Jewish people under the age of 30 voted for Mamdani. Like an actually alarmingly high number.
Yeah, but doesn't that go to people claiming the Jews are all one big block? Most of them are total leftist, communist, self-hating.
No, because I don't think they're one block, and I think that most people wouldn't say that. I think people would say that they have a lot of influence, though. And the common denominator, whether they're left-wing, right-wing, whether they're Israeli or they're in the diaspora, it's that they have this ethnic self-interest. And so, to me, the Muslim thing is just like a complete non-issue in the United States as of right now. I think it's the definition of scaremongering, basically, because it's more foreign. And people like to bring that up because it's a different religion, different civilization, different alphabet. They like to bring that up to basically scaremonger and short circuit rationality, because what everybody's watching is that Netanyahu is going to make his 5th visit to the White House, and we're bombing Somalia, and we're bombing Syria, and we're bombing Lebanon and Gaza and Iran. And, we're doing all these things. We're shutting down the universities. In Northwestern here in Evanston, they say that you have to take like a pro-Israel training course to get admitted in the university. And I look at the Israelis very similarly to how I look at the Muslims. Different alphabet, different civilization, history of hatred and animosity against the West. I look at them basically the same, and they actually have all the cards. They seem to have far more influence than the Muslims. To the extent that Muslims have influence, well, they're bribing the Trump government. I mean, you got to lay that the blame at the feet of the Trump government, which is, probably taking bribes. It's true, from Qatar, from Saudi Arabia. What do you call it when Trump goes on that tour and then they bring the Saudis over here and they're going to make Saudi a major non-NATO ally, and they're going to give a defense guarantee to Qatar. I mean, that's where I would train my fire if I was even going to begin to talk about the Muslim issue. It's not a demographic problem. It's a bribery problem. And the Israelis are somewhat correct about that. They exaggerate it, but that's definitely real, and that's definitely happening.
Well, that's my point.
I mean, chat, personally, I feel like the Muslim countries aren't the ones fucking the U.S., bro. Fucking the shit out the U.S. Fucking the shit out our pockets. Man, I wonder when this shit will even slow down at least. I'm not even talking about end, because I don't even, bro, let's not even talk about that. But when would it slow down so that we can also see some of the goods that we produce? You know what I mean? Chat, appreciate y'all checking out the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be back with some new content. Appreciate y'all time. Y'all have a great freaking day. We out.